From the outside, cartel power looks unbreakable. Gold chains, expensive cars, armed guards, and fear in every room make bosses seem untouchable. But inside, that power is fragile. Every cartel leader learns one quiet truth. The most dangerous enemy is not the police or the military. It is the people sitting closest to them. Cartels are built on fear, money, and silence, and that silence only lasts while a boss appears strong. What happens when greed takes over? What happens when mistakes pile up or attention grows too loud? When a leader becomes a risk, silence breaks. Loyalty fades fast. Cartels do not debate or forgive, they replace. This video explores real cases where cartels turned on their own leaders, not through myths or movies, but through betrayal, abandonment, and exposure. How does total power disappear overnight? Why is leading a cartel often the most dangerous job of all? If you value real stories and real truth, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's begin. The Beltrán Leyva Organization. The Beltrán Leyva Organization did not start as an enemy of the Sinaloa cartel. For years, they worked together and made enormous amounts of money. That partnership ended in 2008, when Alfredo Beltrán Leyva was arrested by Mexican authorities. His brothers immediately believed that someone inside the Sinaloa cartel had betrayed him. They blamed Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, and from that moment on, loyalty was gone. The Beltrán Leyva brothers broke away and formed their own cartel, driven by anger and revenge. Arturo Beltrán Leyva soon became the leader. He ruled through fear, extreme violence, and public displays of power meant to send a message. But this style created problems inside his own organization. His lieutenants feared him, but they did not trust him. Paranoia spread, and internal loyalty weakened. Arturo made enemies not just outside the cartel, but inside it as well. In December 2009, Mexican Navy forces located Arturo in Cuernavaca. The operation was fast and deadly, ending in a shootout where Arturo was killed. Authorities later indicated that information from people close to him helped lead to his location. Whether motivated by fear or self-preservation, his own circle had turned against him. After his death, the cartel quickly fractured and lost power, showing how betrayal from within can destroy even the strongest leader. Los Zetas. Los Zetas were different from every cartel that came before them. They were formed by former soldiers trained in weapons, tactics, and discipline. Because of this, their violence was not just a tool. It became their identity. Fear was how they controlled territory and people. But violence has a cost. It keeps growing, and eventually it turns inward. Heriberto Lascano, known as El Lasca, was one of Los Zetas' main leaders. He ruled through strict control and terror. Over time, the organization began to fracture. Internal groups formed, leaders stopped trusting each other, and local commanders started acting on their own. Loyalty weakened as power became divided. In 2012, Lascano was killed during a confrontation with Mexican Marines. Officially, his death was the result of a military operation, not an internal execution. However, the internal breakdown of Los Zetas made him far more exposed. Some commanders failed to protect him, others ignored warnings, and some may have allowed information to move freely. His death was not ordered by his own cartel, but it was made possible by internal division. In Los Zetas, showing weakness was dangerous. Even leaders at the very top were not safe once control began to slip. La Familia Michoacana. La Familia Michoacana was not like other cartels. It mixed crime with religion and heavy propaganda. The group wanted to be seen as protectors of the people, not just criminals. They spoke about morals and order, and tried to present themselves as different. At the center of this image was their leader, Nazario Moreno González, who was treated almost like a myth. In 2010, Mexican authorities announced that Moreno had been killed during a military operation. The cartel denied this claim. Songs and messages were spread saying he was still alive, which helped build his legend. But behind the scenes, the truth was much darker. Moreno had already lost control of his organization. Key lieutenants stopped following orders, and internal groups began to break away. By the time Moreno was confirmed dead in 2014, his power was already gone. He was not publicly executed by his own cartel, but he was effectively abandoned. His authority existed mostly in stories and symbols, not in real control. The organization that once followed him had moved on without him. His fall showed that in the cartel world, image can survive longer than power, but neither lasts forever. The Tijuana Cartel, the Arellano Flicks organization, was built and led by brothers. At first, family ties were supposed to mean loyalty and trust. Instead, they slowly became a weakness. As pressure increased from rival cartels and law enforcement, fear spread inside the organization. Trust between family members began to collapse. Some brothers were killed in violent attacks, while others were captured and sent to prison. Leadership did not pass through careful planning or clear succession. It changed based on who managed to survive. Internal arguments grew, and important decisions were made without agreement. Information leaks came from inside the group, weakening it even further. While there is no confirmed record of the cartel ordering the execution of its own leaders, the organization repeatedly allowed family members to fall in order to protect itself. Leaders became liabilities instead of assets. In the end, the cartel continued in a weaker form, but the family that once controlled it was broken. Their story shows that even blood ties offer little protection when fear and survival take over. The Juárez Cartel. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, known as the Lord of the Skies, ruled through money rather than fear. He built the Juárez Cartel into one of the most powerful criminal organizations of its time by using wealth, influence, and logistics instead of constant violence. In 1997, Amado died during a plastic surgery procedure meant to change his appearance. After his death, rumors spread quickly. Some claimed betrayal, while others suggested murder. However, there is no verified evidence that his cartel killed him. What is clearly documented is what followed. Amado's death created a power vacuum inside the Juárez Cartel. Former partners and trusted allies turned into rivals almost overnight. Internal fighting weakened the organization from within. Over the next few years, much of the cartel's leadership was arrested or killed, not only because of outside pressure, but because of internal collapse. The system that helped Amado rise became unstable without him, and it ultimately destroyed the organization he left behind. Why cartels turn on their bosses? Cartels do not turn on their leaders because of emotion. They do it to survive. In these organizations, a boss is only valuable as long as he protects the group and keeps business running. A leader becomes a problem when he draws too much attention from authorities, loses control over his territory, or starts making decisions that put everyone at risk. Hoarding money, killing too many people inside the organization, or refusing to adapt to change can also make a boss dangerous. When this happens, loyalty fades quickly. Fear replaces respect, and silence begins to break. The cartel does not argue or give warnings. Instead, one question is quietly asked: is this leader still worth the risk? If the answer is no, the outcome is usually decided fast. Sometimes the boss is removed quietly through betrayal or abandonment. Other times, the ending is violent. Either way, the goal is the same. The organization protects itself first, no matter who stands in the way. How betrayal really works. Cartels rarely carry out dramatic, public executions of their own leaders. Instead, they use quiet, calculated methods to remove them while keeping themselves safe. They may leak the boss's location, stop providing protection, feed false information, or even allow rivals to attack. In some cases, they might let law enforcement or the military act while insiders remain silent. These strategies allow the cartel to protect its organization while avoiding direct responsibility. Fear stays intact, because no one sees who really caused the boss's downfall. People inside the cartel learn that loyalty has limits, and mistakes are not forgiven. The result is always the same: The boss dies, loses power, or disappears, and the organization continues. Survival comes before sentiment. In the world of cartels, protecting the group is more important than protecting any single person, no matter how powerful they once were. The myth versus the reality. Movies make betrayal look dramatic and emotional, but real cartel betrayals are cold and quiet. There are no speeches, no last warnings, and no second chances. One day, the guards protecting a boss are gone. Phones stop being answered. Safe houses become dangerous. The leader is left exposed, alone, and vulnerable. Decisions happen quickly, without explanation, and the outcome is final. The boss loses everything almost instantly. In the world of cartels, power is fragile, loyalty is temporary, and survival always comes first. This is how betrayal really happens, far from the stories seen on screen. Why this matters today? Modern cartels operate on the same principle as those before them. Leaders are tools, not idols. They are used to organize operations, control territory, and make money. Respect or loyalty exists only as long as the leader is useful. The moment a boss becomes weak, reckless, or replaceable, the organization no longer protects him. Decisions are made fast, quietly, and without mercy. No one inside the cartel mourns weakness. Survival comes first, and the group moves on. In the world of cartels, power is temporary, and leaders are only as safe as the control they maintain. Cartels don't collapse because of law or morality. They fall from within, weakened by betrayal and distrust. The most dangerous enemy is inside the organization. Every boss knows this, which is why no leader ever sleeps fully at peace. These men were not betrayed by fate. They were betrayed by systems built on fear. And fear always turns inward. In the cartel world, loyalty is never permanent. It lasts only as long as a person is useful. The moment that usefulness ends, everything else ends with it. Power disappears. Protection fades. Silence breaks. So what does this really tell us? Was it greed that destroyed them? Or was it the system itself? Can any leader truly feel safe in a world ruled by fear? These stories are not just about crime. They are about how fragile power becomes when it is built on intimidation instead of trust. If you found this breakdown valuable and want more real stories explained with honesty and clarity, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Narco Files. Here, we explore the truths that often go unspoken. Until next time, stay curious and think deeper about the systems people choose to live by.